first arraigned before a magistrate court last year. When they appeared in court, the magistrate denied or refused jurisdiction. He declined jurisdiction, which is normal. You cannot try a murder case in a magistrate court. So what he did was to transfer the case to the High Court and remanded the defendants in custody. This was done at about 10 a.m. by the magistrate in Okey. However, by 4 p.m. the same day, 4 p.m. same day, the magistrate was summoned by some powerful individuals in the state and told that he has to make a second order. He must make a second order varying his earlier order in the morning. Now, this doesn't happen anywhere. And by the way, the magistrate is facing disciplinary matters currently because of this. Because he knows he ought not to have done that. He knows under no circumstance should he have been pressurized by the powers that be in the state to change an order that he made. Why did he make that order the first time? He said that he didn't have jurisdiction. So why would he, later in the afternoon, some 6 hours later, now assume jurisdiction and varied his order? And what he did is not known in our legal system. There's no justification for that, other than something wrong, something terrible happened. And everybody involved in what happened will be exposed in due course. Okay. So the magistrate, upon assuming jurisdiction, now asked them to come before him the next week. When they appeared before him, what he did will even marvel you more. The witnesses were all outside, waiting to be called in. The witnesses, the defendants and the lawyers were inside the magistrate court. The DPP said he was offering no evidence, that the witnesses have all died. And as such, he wasn't going to offer any evidence, and that the matter should be dismissed. A murder matter being dismissed just like that, without hearing evidence. The witnesses are all alive, none of them died, just a lie to obstruct justice. So they were discharged, but not acquitted. You must know the difference between being discharged and being acquitted. For you to be acquitted, they must have had the evidence, full evidence, on both sides. Criminal matters are not like civil matters. In criminal matters, the burden is on the prosecution to prove the guilt of the accused. And the standard is high. You hear quite often people talk about beyond reasonable doubt. That's all that was required to be done. However, within 2 weeks, I was informed by the police that the defendants who were discharged had sued the police for wrongful arrest and forced imprisonment. I think this was what made the police now to wake up and say, okay, if you think you are clever, let's arrest you again and charge you, take you to the right court, which is the High Court, and you're going to have your opportunity to defend yourselves. That's how Okey Ifejokwu and others were arrested. So, if not for the ongoing strike by the courts in Nigeria, I'm sure by now some progress would have been made in prosecuting them. But they will have all the opportunity in this world to be heard. And they are the oppressors, not me. I am standing for the oppressed, the villagers, the chiefs, the women, the families of those who were killed. I stand by them. Look, if at my level, or even growing up and practicing law in England and elsewhere, all I was known for was to fight for the oppressed. And that's what I do. That's what I want. That's why I want justice. At least those who are in custody are lucky that they have their lives. Those who are dead are dead. It is not a matter for social media to say Ned I've done nothing wrong. And I will not do anything wrong. I live above board.
So you were saying in essence that this whole thing has nothing to do at all with the case of one.
No, nothing whatsoever. Because I followed due process in applying for land. I got the king to approve it. He wrote a letter, signed. He put together the town land allocation committee, which looked into my application, and then there's an MOU signed with the community where they will have 40% of the golf course. We're talking about the land for the golf course here.
Yeah.
Okay. We signed an agreement. I have all those documents, and then I have, in addition to that, the CFO given by the government. So there's no issue about land. There's one party that went to court, one farmer. I've spent over 300 million naira compensating farmers. That land belongs to the community as a whole. It doesn't belong to any particular family. But there's one family that said, oh, no, that 1 hectare or 2 belongs to them. And I offered them compensation, but they said no, they will not take it. So the matter is in court. Land is a civil matter. Land, understand that, my brother. Land, any land dispute is a civil matter. And people are confusing civil matters with criminal matters. And let me tell you also, the former chairman of the local government has also made a statement that the land was properly acquired, that he went to the king to confirm whether there was any allegation of fraud or being misled. The king told him that he signed the letter of approval for the land. The governor set up a committee to look into this. The committee's report is also available. They've said that I followed every due process known in law and in my community, and that the land was properly allocated for the university project. And also, the same group of people, led by the same Okey Ifejokwu, petitioned the president of Nigeria. He petitioned the Attorney General of Nigeria. He petitioned the IG of Nigeria. The IG, the former IG, put together men from his special division section they call a monitoring unit. They spent 6 months investigating what happened in my village and came up with a report, also vindicating me and saying in the conclusion that these people lied about me, and in fact recommended that they be prosecuted for giving false information. So that's another thing coming. That's the only thing that has to do with land, the prosecution of those guys, but they have not even started the prosecution yet.
Okay, so because this is what is out there.
Yes. Out there. Well, that's why you're here, not to hear the truth. And by the way, the father of Cyprian, the boy that was killed in the palace, is here. He just walked in now. And I'll be grateful if you can give him an opportunity to be heard. Because they said there was no victim. They said nobody died. Up to now, even the body of that guy was never seen. But we have witnesses. The landlord of the deceased man was told that his tenant had died. He rode in a bike to the palace, saw the dead body of Cyprian, and then went back to his place to go and get a vehicle to carry the dead body. By the time he returned there, the dead body had disappeared. But we have witnesses of how the body was removed from there. You know, these matters are in court, so there is an extent of what I can say to you now. But that's why they need the opportunity in court themselves. If they have nothing to fear, they should be in court. They should be in court to be heard. And anybody who wants to make noise can go to court and support them. Criminal matters are not tried on the pages of papers or on the social media. And the real victims, justice must come to them. And I hope that all of you will also support this.
Yeah, you know, as journalists, our job is to hear from this side and hear from this side and put the facts out there.
Yes.
So, in July of 2020, there was a protest from people of Ned Nwoko where they protested at the police headquarters in Asaba, saying that their OP was Chukwunonso was abducted in the night by police. The policeman mentioned the palace.
That's all lies. That's all lies. No, that's all lies. Because first of all, Nonso was never a king. I've never been a king, and there is just only last month the traditional rulers of my local government have recommended Prince Solomon Nwoko as the next Obi to take over from the king that died many years ago. So that is a part of the misinformation out there in the public when they tell you that the Obi.
Yeah, perhaps there are two parties in the village who are supporting him because at the time.
Of course.
We spoke to an elder. His name was Mazi Odibo. So who told us that yes, that they are.
Enoibo is on the other side. He's supporting those he's supporting. You know.
So he told us that the OP was taken to the.
Well, Enoibo lives in Lagos. He doesn't know what's happening in my village. I live in the village and Abuja. I can tell you, Enoibo doesn't even stay in the village when he comes to the village. But let me tell you this.
Okay, so
yes, you're right. Let me tell you, you're right about the protest. Or the fact there were protests and counter-protests in Asaba that day. And it was after the protest that the governor now put together a request to the advisor on peace and conflict resolution, Chief Uzo, and asked him and the committee to look into Nwoko matter. And I've just told you that the committee report is out. The committee's report is out on Nwoko, and first on the land, they said that they were wrong, that the land was properly acquired. This is the state government committee. And secondly, on the issue of kingship, that the traditional rulers, whose duty it is to recommend, have recommended Prince Solomon. And not only that, the Asawa of Asaba has also met with the kings and written to the governor, affirming the recommendation of Prince Solomon as the next king of Igbo. So don't be confused anymore by the lies and their own narratives.
Now, specifically, both Mr. Nwoko, both Pamela and some of those people that still accuse you, they agree that 33 hectares of land was given to you by the king, and that one was legit, but that you are asking for an additional 90 hectares of land, which they said that is what the villagers said they can't give to you.
Who are the villagers? Who are the villagers? I've just told you. Don't talk like them. Don't talk like them, my friend. Who are the villagers?
Exactly. You know, I'm just going to put to you what they told
you. Yeah, but they will even tell you that they will even tell you also. They will even tell you also.
To you by the king, the late king. Number one, the villagers have no problem with it, but that everybody has no problem with it, but that there is another additional 90 hectares that you now want to twist them.
No. But I've just given you the history of that. I've just told you how I applied for it. The documents are there. The MOU signed with the village is there. The letter from the king is there. The CFO is there. The report of the IGU monitoring unit is there. The report by the local government chairman who signs the CFO is there. The report of the governor's committee head by Chief Uzo is there on the same land issue. So what more do you want to talk about? Tell me. They can talk whatever they want to talk about, but all they want, they just